George, tell us now, when you ran the Diderot, and you ran the Kusko 300 several times also, was that the same bloodline, same sprint dogs that you were training at that time, or were they different dogs?
Actually, when I ran, there were the same strain of dogs. When I ran the Kusko 300, I never trained over 16 miles for that either. This may not sound like the truth, but I think maybe when I say I never trained over 16 miles for the rendezvous, maybe it was a little bit misunderstood for the simple reason that I actually stressed those dogs. I stressed them beyond a point out of what I would get out of them in a rendezvous. And I did this, the reason I said earlier today that maybe I do it once every 10 days. The dogs mentally can't take that kind of stress very often and still bounce back. So I'm a firm believer that a dog will just get so tough. I don't care how many miles you put on a dog, that dog is just going to get physically to a certain point, and that's it. You can't get him beyond that, you know. You can't take him beyond his limits, no matter how many miles you put on him. So at 16 miles, if you're running the dogs as hard as they can run for 16 miles, you're not going to gain nothing by running that same dog 25 miles at a slower pace. I hope that answers the question.
That's a great, when you go over to Kusko, what speed were you going to try to run the Kusko race at? What was your ideal speed?
To be honest with you, back then I didn't really know what I was doing, you know. I mean, I never ran 300 miles. And the way my dogs were trained for sprint racing, they were trained to respond every time I make a little sound of some kind in the back of the sled. And my biggest downfall in Kusko 300 was that my dogs would respond to me. Every time I asked them for something, they'd respond. They'd give a jerk, you know. And not having enough sense to say this is enough for one day, you know, I kept doing it. And pretty soon I was down to 6 dogs, you know. And that's what I finished with.
I've been there.